We had another great workout today in the Thoughtfully Fit gym, tackling the subject of burnout and specifically seeing how, as a manager, a colleague, direct report, whatever it might be, how can you, instead of jumping in to try to fix and solve, how can you use questions when you're seeing somebody struggling with burnout, or maybe you yourself struggling with burnout? So, Darcy, what are some of the trends that you've been seeing lately?
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of research being done on this. And I imagine it's because of quiet quitting and the great resignation and all of the aftermath of a global pandemic and the job market, what it is today. So let me share some of those research with you. The research study from Asana that said 70% of employees are feeling burnout. That's 7 out of 10. I mean, that's a lot of burnout. There's a study from Deloitte from 2022 that furthermore says a significant number of employees are exhausted and stressed, overwhelmed, and depressed. So you may know people in your organization who are exhausted and depressed, or you may be that person. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. There are 78% of business leaders and managers and bosses, this is from a study from Zippia, that say they're regularly focusing on engaging with their employees. So they're working hard on employee engagement to address and keep people really engaged in the workplace. And yet 33% of employees report feeling engaged. Now, how can that be? That 78% of managers are saying they're focused on employee engagement, but only 33% are feeling engaged.
And the good thing that I interpret from this, at least how I'm trying to look at it, is managers want to be more engaged with their employees. There's good intent here. There's effort being made here. And I know, I mean, Darcy, I know you know this as well as I do. I've yet to come across a team leader or manager that says, I don't care about employee engagement. I don't care about the experience. I don't care about burnout. People do care. People are wanting to make an impact. I think where we often see the disconnect is it actually working? And so often when we want to, as leaders, want to fix, want to solve, we see a problem, we want to fix the problem. And sometimes that fix it, dive in, try to solve the problem mentality doesn't always work. And that's where having that conversation with the employee, not assuming you know what it is that's going on and not just diving in with a possible solution, that might not just be hitting the mark as well. And I'm saying this about direct reports, but the fact is it works for colleagues. And Darcy, I've had conversations like this with you too. It works going up, talking to your boss this way as well.
All the time. And it's effective. And so this is what we want to just ground this workout in and share what we did with the free workout in the Thoughtfully Fit gym. Is talked about the power of asking questions and as a tool to expand your range so that you can help your colleagues, your employees, your direct report take a deeper look at what's going on so that they can find a solution to their problem. And instead of jumping in and fixing and solving and telling them what they need to do. So there's a couple of benefits of that. One is it's going to be a better solution because the person is the expert in their own life. And two, it's going to free you up to have more time to focus on what you do best instead of continually having to stay in this place of putting out fires and giving advice and mentoring and fixing all day long. Because the reality is, what we find when we're doing team coaching, we're doing training, when we're helping managers to take a coach approach, we find that the default, the autopilot, is to jump in and fix instead of asking thoughtful questions. And so if you are watching this right now and saying, well, yeah, of course, Darcy, I'm a fixer because that's what I'm paid to do. I'm supposed to fix the problem, whether it's at work or at home or with your kids. And certainly I hear you. I know that's probably how you got to where you are because you're good at fixing problems. But the reality is that is not going to be always the most effective to help in this era of burnout when people are feeling overwhelmed. So what you need to think about is, how can you ask some thoughtful questions instead? And we want to leave you with a playbook. We want to give you a chance to lean into curiosity instead of telling people what they need to do, and half the time missing the mark anyway. So here's 6 plays. First one, keep your questions short. What's hard about this? How are you feeling? What do you need? Where are you getting stuck? What support do you need? Short questions. When they're longer, they are often including your opinion and giving advice. Play number 2, just ask one question and let it land. Don't stack your questions. Somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm feeling so frustrated. Yeah, I sense that in your energy. What's frustrating right now? Pause. Let it land. Let them think. Resist the urge to jump in and ask another question. The silence is your friend. Play number 3. Ask questions that start with what or how. It'll set you up for success, because why questions tend to create defensiveness. Why are you feeling overwhelmed? Why are you so stressed out? Even if you don't mean to, even if that why is a genuine why, it has a tendency to create defensiveness. The other thing that's great about what and how questions is it sets you up for success with play number 4, which is to ask your questions open-ended. Get you want to get the other person reflecting and thinking instead of doing the thinking for them. So open-ended questions start with what or how. Close-ended questions, can you, should you, will you, did you, have you? Those are yes, no questions, and they don't create new awareness. Play number 5, focus on the person who's talking, not the person or the problem they're talking about. So if they come in and say, I'm frustrated with Tom because he's always late, the questions aren't, well, why is Tom late? What's happening in his life? And what do you think Tom needs? Tom's not here. We can't fix Tom. We can't help Tom. Instead, you can ask, well, what expectations have you set around getting to your meetings on time? And how have you communicated those expectations? And what are the consequences? And help the person who's you're talking to get new awareness. And then the final play, number 6, is to stay curious and to be unattached. So don't ask questions that are leading, that you know the answer to, that you're trying to get them somewhere. Truly ask questions that are curious, that you are not attached to the outcome.
So 6 great tips, especially as you're dealing with burnout, but really that can be used for any situation whatsoever. Was another great workout in the gym today. Those of you who are Thoughtfully Fit Gym members, if you want to see an on-demand version of this workout, log into the gym. You can watch it on your own time. For everybody else, feel free to join us for the next free workout, learn more about the Thoughtfully Fit Gym, and feel free to drop a question in the comments if you have any questions, either about burnout, asking questions, or about the Thoughtfully Fit Gym. Thank you so much. You have a great day.